Hello everyone, my name is Vegiro and this is Cozy Veggie, and on this channel we cover a variety of things such as video essays, reviews, JRPGs, and all things cozy gaming. As you can tell by the location of where I'm filming, I am not in my room. I'm currently in my dining room of my house, and I felt like the lighting was really nice. It kind of fit the vibes of what we're filming today, because today we'll be talking about 15 games I want to play this summer. Now, is this list ambitious? Yes. Do I have a lot more time on my hands? Absolutely. Do I think I'll be able to get through all of these games? No. But I just wanted to give myself a general idea, or just to give myself a list of games out of my backlog that I feel like would be very fitting for the summer time, the summer weather. Right now, I'm currently on my summer vacation for my program in schools, so I'll be able to have a lot more time dedicated to playing. I'm still working part-time this summer, but I have a lot more time dedicated to playing video games, which is amazing. That has been honestly my motivator throughout the spring semester, because oh my god, it was brutal. But just knowing in the back of my head, Jerry, you got 3 months of pure bliss where you can just do whatever you want, and that includes playing games. And that's exactly what I'm going to do this summer. So I picked a list of 15 games that I feel like fit the summer vibe, whether they set in a summer like tropical setting like a beach or tropical island or whatever that may be, or if it gives off a very calming, chill, or just in general, these are games that I just really want to play this summer that I have the time to play. So without further ado, let's get into it. I have a little, oh goodness, how late. I knew that was gonna happen. So here is a stack of the physical games that I want to play this year. I also have some digital games that I want to play that are on my PC/Steam Deck that I want to play this summer. So the first couple games that I have digitally are on my PC that I probably will play on my Steam Deck, just because yes, I love playing games handheld. For me, I feel like with handheld gaming, I get through them a lot faster. But that's neither here nor there. I probably will play them a mix of both PC and my Steam Deck. So the first game that I want to play is actually a game that I'm playing right now, and that's Rune Factory Guardians of Azimma. Now, this has been probably one of my highly anticipated releases that's come out this year. I've been really dying to get into this because it's a new take and spin on the Rune Factory series. Now, if you don't know, Rune Factory is actually a spin-off of the Story of Seasons games, but essentially, it's an RPG mixed farming sim elements with a hint and a dash of romance, as you get to romance a lot of the villagers that you get to encounter throughout the game. Now, what's really great about this one is I feel like they really honed in on all of their expertise in this game. The combat looks and runs really great. I'm playing it on my Steam Deck and it runs really great. There are some pop-ins here and there, but the cutscenes look great. The worlds look beautiful. The combat is really fun. The characters are really endearing, and the story seems really intriguing so far. I'm about like 11 hours into the game, so I'm almost wrapping into the 4th and final region that I need to unlock. As for the characters, I really like them, and I really do like with this game, it has a lot more like building elements with it, where each village or each region or each season, which has a region, you get to pretty much build your, like obviously that's just the farming sim elements come in, where you get to really customize your area, kind of like akin to Animal Crossing, where there's a lot more terraforming involved, I feel like, with this game, which I think is really a lot of fun and runs smooth. And a really big bonus with this game is that we don't have a silent protagonist. Finally, a character that can talk, I feel like has agency and has a character and personality, which I feel like the other entries kind of lacked, in my opinion. I played the other games. I played Rune Factory 4 and 5. Fortunately, I played 5 on the Switch and it ran horrendously. I think we all collectively know that. But with this one in particular, I just feel like I click with this game a lot more. I feel like the combat I've clicked with, the story gets you really immersed right away. I love the people that we get to romance in this game. I'm just really enjoying my time with it. Like, I genuinely look forward to playing this game in comparison to how I felt with the other ones. I do feel like this one is a little bit more hand-holdy in the sense where I don't feel like I have to be searching where the next part of the story has to progress. I feel like it pretty much helps you and where you need to go to progress the story. But what's also great about this game is I can also take my time. Just because it and progresses the story quite faster compared to the other games, I can still take my time, which I really enjoy. And I'm loving my time with this game. And I feel like it's also very fitting to play in the summertime. I feel like a farming sim is always great to play in the summertime or springtime, or even fall. I feel like any season you can play farming sim games like this because it does have dedicated regions to each season. You have a spring village, a autumn village, a summer village, and a winter village. So you can really play this game anytime you want. So I'm really enjoying my time and I can't wait to see where the story goes in this game. Now, speaking of farming sims, another game that I definitely want to finally play is Stardew Valley. I have dabbled in this game so many times. I've picked it up on the Switch and loved my time with it. I picked it up for the PC version this past, I think winter? I think during the winter Steam sale? I can't remember. But I definitely wanted to pick up the PC version because I definitely knew I wanted to mod some of this game. And every time I do play it, I'm hooked immediately. I feel like I'm always gripped into a farming sim like Stardew Valley from the jump. I'm like into it for like a couple of days. It's like my hyper fixation. And then I drop it. Not because I'm not enjoying my time with it, I just kind of hit the wall with these games. But this summer, hopefully, I am determined to reach credits for this game because I really love seeing content on YouTube for Stardew Valley and seeing all the mods, people playing expanded versions. Like I really want to get into the nitty gritty of this game because I feel like Stardew Valley is that farming sim game that really reinvented and rewrote into the genre. That's why we see so many of them today. But I really need to get into one of the more recent modern OGs of this genre. Now, the next game that I want to play is Planet of Lana. And the reason why I want to play this is because a couple of years ago, I feel like at the start of this channel, I think I did mention this in like a couple of cool, cozy games that are coming out soon, or demos of it. And I played a little bit of the demo back in the day, that's like 3 or so years ago, but I really enjoyed my time with it, and it reminded me to get this game again was during I think the Xbox showcase where they showed the sequel of this game, and it reminded me I need to get into this game because I really enjoyed what I played with the demo a couple years ago, and with the sequel coming out I feel like this is a perfect time to play it. And I rewatched the trailer of it and it really gives like a Studio Ghibli vibe. The cinematics in this game are great, the story seemed really intriguing, the music in this game, oh my god, alone would win me over. So I'm really excited to get into it. I heard it's not too long of a game and I could finish it in a sitting if I really wanted to. So I'm excited to get into Planet of Lana. Another game that I remember talking about on this channel that I have not yet played, which is nothing new for me, and that is a really chill, cozy game of Dordogne. Oh my god, I'm so sorry for those who are French, but this game looked really, really cute. I love the watercolors paint style of this game set in the countryside of France, and I really love the puzzle aspect where we follow a girl who reminisces of her childhood in this countryside village. The gameplay looks really cool and the premise looks really fun, and I feel like this is definitely a good palate cleanser game to play in between the plethora of JRPGs that you'll be seeing later on in this video. And those are pretty much all of the digital games that I want to play this summer. Now we're going on to the physical stack that I have beside me. First, being on my PS Vita is Tales of Hearts R. Now I've had this copy sitting in my room, I want to say for like 4 years now. I have been needing to play this for a very long time. Especially, I really want to dabble more into the Tales of series. I've only played Tales of Arise and loved my time with it. And I know this is kind of a mixed bag for the Tales series, as I know it's not someone who's a fan of the franchise would gravitate this as their top 5 or top 10. I'm not sure. There's a lot of Tales of games. And I have another one on this list. But I feel like I've been itching to get back into playing on my PS Vita, and I feel like this would be a perfect game to do that. I'm really excited to dabble more into the Tales of franchise because this is a franchise that I definitely want to get into. There's a lot of JRPG franchises that I really want to get into. I'm taking them one at a time. I tried playing a lot of them all at once and that just didn't work in my favor, but Tales of is a definitely interesting series because it's not like where I have to play them in chronological order. I can really pick and choose where I want. And I know right now we're kind of in this Tales of Renaissance with the company remastering a lot of their games. We just had Tales of Symphonia last year or the year before, I can't remember. This year we had Tales of Grace's F, and then we're gonna get an announcement of a new one later on this summer. So I think it'd be nice to jump onto the Tales bandwagon while I can and start with this one. I don't want to say this has been in my backlog forever, but it's definitely been one that I remember putting on my list for I think my games I want to play in the fall, and that is Digimon Survive. Now, I wanted to play this one because this is more of a visual novel leaning than it is like JRPG and like combat style, which is really funny because I remember when this came out and released, there was a lot of mixed reviews for this game because a lot of people were expecting more JRPG or just more combat in this game, but it definitely leaned more on visual novel. And I feel like the combat that is in this game is just to help support and the story. So now that I have that idea and know what I'm getting into, I won't be as, I guess, jaded with my playthrough of this game. And I love visual novels. I find them fun and intriguing. I heard this is gonna make me cry. It's really, really sad, but I've heard really good things. And if anything, I love 13 Sentinel Aegis Rim, which is a JRPG that's more visual novel leaning than it is JRPG. It does have like real-time strategy in that game, but it's not like the main focus of the game. It's more of its story, and I feel like that's where Digimon Survive kind of similar in that sense. So I'm excited to get into it. It's a pretty hefty size time to get into. On how long to beat, it says it takes around like 30 to 40 hours to beat, so I'm in for a good time with this one. To continue with the visual novel genre, the next game that I want to play this summer is Tales of Tokyo Toki: Arrival of the Witch. I picked up this copy of this game around Christmas time. I gifted this for myself as a Christmas gift, and the reason why I picked this up was on a whim. I saw this on my Amazon through games that were recommended to me from a purchase, and it seemed interesting enough. On the back it says, "You arrive on a secluded island and meet a powerful witch and the other residents. With a bit of magic, help this eccentric bunch realize their dreams and unravel the mysteries of Toyo Toki." Did I say Tokyo? Toyo Toki. But yeah, it's based on a countryside town in Japan, and it kind of looks kind of like lighthearted and chill to play during the summertime. And yeah, it seems really interesting and a promising concept. Also takes about like 30 to 40 hours, but I'm in for it. I love a visual novel, and I really need to get more into them because I feel like the visual novels that I have played have been Otome visual novels. So I'm really curious as to lean into something that's more story driven with this one. As you can tell, it still has its shrink wrap on it because I have not bought it, but hopefully I'll get to it soon because I bought this in December, and I'm trying to get better at playing games that I bought recently, even though there's a huge backlog of games that I've bought and that I still have not played, but I'm gonna get better this year, I promise. So the next game is a game that I've played like the first couple hours multiple times, but I've always ended up dropping it because I wanted to play something else, and that is Atelier Ryza, Ever Darkness, and the Secret Hideout. This is the first entry into the Atelier Ryza series, and I've played this and dropped it so many times. Again, not because I was enjoying my time, I think just something else came up that I wanted to play instead. But I feel like Atelier Ryza, or just any of the Atelier games, are very fitting to play in the spring and summertime. And since we're kind of in a countryside town that's on off the shore of a beach, it's kind of a beach town, I feel like it just makes sense to play this one and really get into my Atelier journey and finish it. I'm not sure if I want to just start off on my save file that I have like about like 10 hours into, or start off fresh. Every time I try to start off fresh in a new game or a game that I've picked up before, it ends up not lending itself well, and I end up dropping it. So I think I might just pick up from my 10-hour save file and just hope that I remember the game mechanics and the alchemy aspect to it, but we shall see. I did play a little bit of Atelier Yumiya this year because I got a copy from my library that was available, and I enjoyed my time with it, and I feel like I probably would like that one a little more because obviously the graphics look really great and the story and premise of that seemed really interesting, and I think they're a little bit aged up in that story. I want to say in Atelier Yumiya, I want to say they're at least in their early 20s, our main cast of characters, but they could be teens for all I know. But they give off more mature vibes than this cast. This one definitely gives teenage vibes, but either way, I'm excited to dive into the Atelier Ryza series this summer. Another JRPG that very much is the essence of summer, and that game is Chrono Cross. This is also another copy that still in its shrink wrap, but I definitely want to get into this summer. I remember when they announced this, I was like, ooh, this is exciting. I've never played any of the Chrono games. Yes, I know I've not played Chrono Trigger. That is another game I hope to play soon. I need to buy it actually first, but I just don't know which version I want to get. Do I get the PC version of Chrono Trigger or the DS version? I'm not sure. But either way, we're talking about Chrono Cross here. I'm excited to get into this because I hear the story is really fun, set in this very tropical setting, and the plethora of characters that we get to meet in this game is going to be overwhelming but exciting nonetheless. And I'm also really curious to play this one as opposed to playing Chrono Trigger first. I'm going to obviously compare and contrast the two, even though they're not really the same stories. I don't even know if they're set in the same world. But nonetheless, I'm really excited to get into Chrono Cross this summer as well. I feel like I've gone through a lot of Switch games, so we're going to move on to a new console of mine. Well, not really a new console to me, I've had it for a while, but a console that I have not played on much yet. And then some PSP with Valkyrie Profile Lenith. Now, this is a game that I've heard really, really great things about. On the back it says, as a Valkyrie of Norse legends, you must collect the souls of the fallen warriors and prepare them to fight in the ultimate battle between gods. Now I know this is a really gut-wrenching and really sad story. I mean, heck, she's even like crying in the cover of this game, but I've heard really good things about it. I know this was released on, I believe, the PS1, PS2? I'm not sure. And I know they re-released this on modern PlayStation consoles, I want to say the end of last year, 2023, I can't remember. But I have the PSP version because, you know, again, I love to play games on the handheld console. And I'm excited to get into this. I know this is not very like summer fitting, but this is just a game that I really wanted to play since I have the time to play it. I don't know how long this is. I think this is like around 20 to 30. It's not too long of a time commitment, so I'm excited to get into it. And there's what's really cool about this copy, it does have some cutscenes on here. I think there's multiple endings to this, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I forgot if there is. It's been a hot minute since I've like brushed up on the story of this game, but I'm excited nonetheless to get into it. Now the next game is on a different console. It's on the 3DS, and I picked it up because we recently got a remastered version of it. Or is it a remake? I can never really tell what the difference between remaster and remake are. I feel like they're so blurred these days, but they just had a new version of it that came onto the Switch too, and that is Bravely Default, the OG on the 3DS. Since I will not be playing the Switch 2 version of this anytime soon or at all, because it is unfortunately a game key, which is so annoying. I can go on a whole rant about that situation, but we're talking about this version. But I've heard really great things about this. A lot of people claim this to be one of their favorite Final Fantasy spin-off stories. The premise is really cool, and the combat and the Bravely and Default mechanics in this game are really something I'm excited to get into. I've dabbled a little bit. I probably put in like, I don't know, like 30 minutes to an hour of this game, and it seemed really intriguing, really sad from the jump, but I'm excited to get into it. It's a pretty long one. I think it's around 40 to 50, I think even 60 hours long, so this is a time commitment, but I've been needing to get back into my 3DS library and get to play it on my 3DS handheld as well. Now the next two games are from the same franchise that I've been currently playing through for the past 3 years, and I've been enjoying every second of it. I'm rounding out my last arc of it, and the next two games that I'm going to play of course are Trails into Reverie and Trails Through Daybreak 1. Now like I said, I've been playing this game since 2023. This series was the reason why I started making content on this channel. My very first video was my Trails in Sky first chapter Let's Play, which I'm super excited to play the remake of that later this fall. But I need to play catch up because I have not played any of the Trails games since February of this year. I finished out Trails of Cold Steel 4 back then, and it's been so long since I played these games, and I'm really itching to see where this last arc with Trails into Reverie ends. I've heard really good things about this one. Within the first opening hours of this game, it's already been crazy. It's made me realize I miss these characters a lot. I'm kind of trying to it's really hard for me to play multiple games at once, and I was playing this while I was playing Guardians of Azimma, but I had to drop it for a little bit just because I can't focus on multiple games at once. I just can't. I just don't think I have the bandwidth and the capacity to do that. But I'm about like 5 hours in. I just finished the opening act of Lloyd's route and absolutely was flabbergasted because I just thought, okay, we're finally gonna end like have a happy ending kind of, but of course not. This is Trails we're talking about. There's never happy endings, I feel like. But I'm excited to see where this game ends because we're kind of ending both the Cold Steel arc as well as the Crossbell arc. So I'm really excited to see where this leads at the end. And of course we have Trails Through Daybreak, which is a new entry to the newest arc, the Calvert arc. And I'm excited to see where it goes because I've heard it gets more of mature leaning because we have a more mature cast. I've heard everyone and my friends who are interested and love this series say this is probably one of their favorite games in the entire series, which is really high praise. So I'm really hoping that I get to this sometime this summer. Again, Trail series are really huge time commitment, but I'm really hoping I get to it. Ideally, it would be amazing if I could beat all of the Trails games up until the remake, but that is definitely, like, I feel like far-fetched at this moment. I feel like that's kind of asking for a lot for myself, because Trails games are pretty long and a huge time commitment, and as someone who likes to complete as much as I can in these games, it's definitely going to take a while to get through them all. But I've done it. I have done it before, where I played, I think it was 1 and 2 pretty much back to back. I definitely have to pace myself for this franchise, but I probably will at least get through these 2 games this summer. So the next game that I want to play is on my PS2, and I played a little bit of it back in December, and I was really intrigued by it, and I've been itching to play on my PS2 for a really, really long time. And that is none other than Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga. Now, as someone who's recently gotten to the Atlas games, I love Persona. I loved Persona 5 Royal. I played a lot of, I played about 10 hours of Persona 3 Reload. I know that we just recently got announced the announcement of Persona 4 Revival, even though we kind of all saw that coming. I definitely want to dabble into the older titles, especially the Shin Megami Tensei line of games, and I've heard that this is a really good premise and story with this one, where we kind of set in this very dystopian aspect where these people are in this place called the Junkyard, where they're kind of fighting over territory, and then one day this alien like beam hits across the graveyard and ends up impacting all the people who were in this fight that was happening, with this weird power where they have to eat humans in order to stay alive. And I feel like I'm not describing the synopsis that very much, but during that whole massive war thing that happened, or the fight that was happening, this random girl in the back, I can point to it, it's her, she ends up like landing in this massive junkyard, and they're trying to figure out who she is, what her role is, and how her role will play into them ascending to, I think it's heaven or nirvana, I can't remember. But I'm excited to get into this. I feel like this is a PS2 JRPG classic that I really wanted to get into. And these are really, really cheap copies. I think I got this for like 40 bucks on Amazon, which is really interesting. But this is definitely one of the many PS2 games that I definitely want to dabble and play in this summer. And the last game that I want to play is another Tales game, and that is on the GameCube with Tales of Symphonia. I picked up this copy, I want to say like 4 years ago. It's kind of crusty a little bit, but I saw it on eBay for relatively cheap. I think I got it for like 40 bucks. And I'm excited to play it because I've heard really, really great things about Tales of Symphonia. I know that there's a remake and a remaster of this that came out for all modern platforms, but I heard it doesn't really run that well. You're better off playing the OG GameCube version, which is kind of crazy. I do not have a GameCube anymore, but I do have a Wii that plays GameCube games, which is the way I will be playing this game. Again, this has been in my backlog for years, and I've been needing to play this because I really wanted to see what all the hype is about for the Tales game with this one, because I know a lot of people herald this to be one of their favorite Tales games, and the very few JRPGs that are on the platform of GameCube, which is very interesting. I'm excited to get into it nonetheless. And that is pretty much all of the games that I want to play this summer. Will I get to these? Like I said earlier, probably not, but I feel like having these 15 or so games will allow me to really focus in on what I have, rather than looking at my entire backlog and be overwhelmed with the amount of choices that I have. Limiting my choices will allow me to see what I can play, and I'm such a mood gamer, so I can just look at this pile. I'm like, what am I in the mood for? Am I in the mood for a visual novel? Am I in for a light JRPG story with Atelier? Or am I in for a really dark and gritty, intensive JRPG with like Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga? But I'm really excited to get into these games nonetheless. And I would love to hear what are some games that you plan to play this summer, whether you are off of school like me or you're having a summer vacation during this time. I would love to hear what you guys are going to play or what you're currently playing right now. If you guys enjoyed this video, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye!